Good evening. This is for you, Mr. P.Smoove. So you requested a reading, not anything in general, but you said you wanted to know everything about yourself. Now, I'm not going to tell you everything about yourself, but I just want to give you a brief explanation of how this is going to work. So whatever your religious background is or spirituality is, your angels, your creator, your spirit guides, higher self, higher beings, whatever you choose to call, the universe, whatever you choose to call, these are the energies that are coming through and sharing these messages with you. So I'm going to use a different deck of cards for you, and it's called the Archetype deck. And I'll just show you how it looks. So most of the decks I use are handmade, and this is 1 out of 3 that I have purchased. And basically on these cards there are different images and words and messages, and basically these act as a catalyst through which your questions can be answered from your higher power, your spirit house. So I'm going to pull 12 cards for you, and I will explain each card as I go. Now, before every reading, I always do a prayer, but to save on time and doing this video, I have done that prior to. So I'm just going to lay out these 12 archetype cards, and then as I pull the card, I will explain to you what each card represents, and then how this relates to you. So the first card is going to represent your persona, and this is as of right now, because people are always changing. So this is subject to change in the future. You might come back and get the same reading and find that things have changed, and this will change based off of you, based off of how you've grown, or if you haven't grown, whatever the case may be. So the first card is going to represent you, how you project yourself, your appearance of the world. This is a window into you. How you identify, your personality, your ego. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. Just giving this deck a little shuffle. And so here we go. The Child is the first card I pulled. Magical. So I'll basically just read to you what it says on the card. So the light attribute for this card, or the positive aspect of this card, is you're able to see things. You're able to see the sacred beauty in all things. The belief that everything is possible. But also, which I feel right now, what is most strongly for you right now is pessimism. The shadow attributes of this card are what is sticking out to me. And they say pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. So right now, this is your personality, the way you view the world, and also how other people are viewing you. But the plus side to that is that this is meant to make you aware of the negative habits that you have that are affecting you. Be more like the light attributes. There is magic in everything, and you do have the potential to see that. It could just be perhaps that right now you're not going through such an easy time, so you're doubting that magic that's in the world. Whereas to when things are going good for you, you're very optimistic, you're very enthusiastic about life or the choices that you're making. So don't lose that enthusiasm just because things are difficult. So card number 2 represents your values, how you feel about yourself, beauty, things, your physical things, money, how you relate to your physical body, what matters to you, so on. And the card I have pulled for that is the Hermit. So before I even read this, a hermit is somebody that stays to themselves. They don't go out anywhere. They don't reveal themselves to people. They're not open to people. They actually don't want to be around people. They stay tucked away, and they like their lonesome. So the positive attributes of this card is seeking solitude to focus intently on the inner life and serves personal, serves your personal creativity. But again, what I'm being drawn to are the negative attributes of this card. So currently, these are the strongest energies that are in you right now, which is withdrawing from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. So because you are in a negative place, this is how you are treating yourself and others. You feel like, because things are not good right now, or maybe somebody let you down, or maybe you just made a poor decision and now you're dealing with the repercussions of it. You're pushing people away and cutting yourself off from people, especially people that are there for you. So this is, again, there's a difference between seeking solitude to focus on bettering yourself, and then seeking solitude or seeking to be alone because you and your feelings, and that's not helping you grow. So let's move on to the next card. Card number 3, and this is going to be how you connect and communicate and form relationships. Don Juan. So just by looking at this picture, you can see this dude is a ladies' man. He seems very social, very suave. So I'll read the positive qualities. Spotlights your positive seductive qualities. And then the negative part is using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. So right now, both of these attributes are speaking to me. So both of these energies are strong in you. When you want to make a positive connection with somebody, you are charming. You have that charm, but also you abuse that same charm in order to get things that you want from certain people, whether it be a type of intimacy or material gain, or even a certain social status. So that's that right there. Let's go to card number 4. And this is your emotional home, your connection to your parents, your ancestors, deep connections, your roots, how you feel about your mission in life. Emotional security, personal feelings. So the card I pulled for that is the networker. And so when I look at this card, before I even read the attributes, this person has a lot of information. They have a bunch of cards and or envelopes, like they're passing them out or receiving them. And to me, this says that you know how to connect when you need to, or when you want to, rather. But when it comes to connecting on a personal level, where you feel vulnerable and open, you're very closed off because you don't want people inside your head or inside your heart. This is primarily because you BS people a lot, and you don't like the way that it feels to be BS'd. So that's kind of ironic. So I'll read the attributes to you. The light attributes: enhances unity through sharing information, engenders social awareness and empathy, which is what I just said. When you want to connect with people, you have a wonderful gift, I guess, or the gift of gab. You're able to what's the word I'm looking for? You're able to stimulate people and get them involved in what you want them to be involved in. But let's read the shadow attributes, or the negative attributes. Conveys information only for personal gain. Spreads fear and falsehood. So like I said, both of these archetypes are strong in you right now. Little bit stronger is this one on the bottom, the negative one. Conveying information only for personal gain. So that means right now, especially based off of the first card, because you might not be in such a good place with yourself, or whatever circumstance you're going through. You're using these gifts, the gift of the networker, being a networker, gaining for personal gain, and only for yourself, not really to better you, but for instant gratification or relief from what you feel is an undesirable situation. So the next card is going to represent your creativity. This has to do with risk taking and luck, sexual affairs, pleasure, letting your light shine in the world, where you make your mark, the area of experience as outcome of emotions, love and generosity. So there's just a bunch of stuff on this card, but we have the basics. The engineer. So again, before I even read the archetype or the messages that are on the card, this person looks very solemn. They look very serious, like they're thinking. There's ideas brewing in their head, and as you can see in the picture, there's a lot of gears in the background, or like a blueprint in the background. And this card is called the engineer. So engineers are people that fix things, make things work. Mechanical engineers or technical engineers, those that work with technology, those that work with machines, and so on. So I'll read the light attributes. Ability to give creative energy, a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. And the negative attributes are reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. So the one that's sticking out to me the most is the shadow aspect right now. So this means you're relying on I'm not sure how to word that. Well, it says mechanistic solutions, so things that have already been set in place. You're relying on those. The way your mind works is not necessarily a bad thing, but you have to be conscious of the choices that you make, because if you're only making them for yourself and not caring how you affect anybody else or how you're going to affect yourself in the long run, which is probably what's happening now, is that from making choices, just making choices like a machine just does. It has one function, and that's what it does. No matter what the cost is or the outcome is. Same here. So now you are feeling the negative repercussions of just making choices without any regard for the emotional consequences attached to it. So let's go ahead and move on to card number 6. This has to do with your health, your occupation and health, service as in your service to yourself, service to others. How do you help people? How do you help yourself? Where you participate in what needs to be done, your daily rituals, routines, and habits. So I'll leave it there. All your healing experiences, fear of illness or failure, the miracle of the ordinary, where God is in the details. So I'm going to give this another shuffle. Okay. I have shuffled. Okay. So we have the Fool. Now before I read it, we'll just look at the image here. So we see a person wearing a mask. The front of the mask is happy and smiling, but underneath the mask, this person is crying. So this lets me know that you often wear a mask because you don't want people to know what's really going on inside you. You have your insecurities and you have your fears, but it's easy to put on a smile and put on a charade because it makes you feel like you're protected. But in the long run, you don't grow because you don't give people a chance to see inside of you, and you don't give yourself a chance to deal with those issues. So I'll read the lighter tributes. Fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. The bottom is using humor to wound rather than to liberate. Denial of your emotional truth. So I just said that basically, not wanting to let people in, denying your true emotions, those fears you have about yourself or about anything in life, about failure, whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's you right there. Card number 6. So now let's go to card number 7. Card number 7 represents where you meet the other, where you fully recognize and enter into a relationship. So this has to deal with the relationships that you have with yourself, that you have with others, how you interact with others, just the general, any kind of relationship that you have with others, on different levels, how that goes. So we have the gambler here. The gambler. Before reading, we look at this picture and we see a guy, or is that a guy? Guy or woman, don't matter. We see this person on a tightrope and they're blindfolded and they're just walking all willy-nilly. Stars all over the place. So the stars to me are saying that, you know, you have a tendency to be optimistic about things in the beginning, but you pretty much go into them without a plan. You don't always need a plan, but when it comes to relationships, or especially business relationships, or building relationship with your coworkers or manager, then you really need to pay attention, because your livelihood depends on it, how you're able to make your money or support yourself, but also how people view you and whether they're willing to take a chance with you or not. So I'll read the tributes. The lighter tributes: willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. And the shadow tributes: relying on luck rather than hard work. So I feel like both of these energies are strong in you, but when it serves you, the positive one, when it serves you. So basically, when it's something that you want to do, or something that you want for yourself, then you know what you have to do, and it's like, it's nothing to you. You can just go through with it. You trust in what you're doing, and you can follow through. But then when the shoe is on the other foot, when it's time for you to reciprocate, then instead of doing that, you don't really put in the effort, and you're just like, hey, well, I hope it works, and if it don't, it don't. And that's not fair to yourself, because you kind of deny yourself that building and learning experience. So let's move on to card number 8. So this is other people's resources, including thought, resources, judgment, advice, where you are concerning those things, how you manage other people's energy, inheritance. This includes psychic inheritance, so this means like dreams, secrets, personal thoughts that have been passed down, or thought patterns that have been passed down from family members. How you handle death, rebirth, issues of trust, commitment, and sharing, sexuality. So I'm just giving you another shuffle. The child and nature. So you can be very thoughtful when it comes to people that you really care about, or things that you really care about, and that's a good attribute to have. But when it comes to maybe meeting new people, you kind of skip over that, because you tend to put what you want first over you know, the true heart of the matter, what the real situation is. So I'll read the attributes. Friendship with animals, communication with nature spirits. Shadow attribute, the tendency to abuse animals, people, or the environment. So this means throwing your garbage, you know, out the window, or just on the ground when you have just walked past a garbage can, or you will be going to a garbage can. Throwing your cans, wrappers, and stuff everywhere. You know, that's disrespectful to the earth. If it wasn't for the earth, you wouldn't have no place to lay your head. You know what I mean? The earth is what sustains you. That's where your food comes from. That's where your air comes from. That's where your water comes from. If you have no regard for it, then you'll abuse it. And if you treat the earth this way, especially the earth, which is what sustains your very life, then you're definitely going to treat people this way. And I feel like right now, based off of your current circumstances, that you are treating yourself and people pretty poorly. And this is just because of, you know, for lack of a better term, irresponsibility, not wanting to own up to your choices and still playing the blame game. So that's where you are concerning those things. So let's go to card number 9. This represents, you know, philosophy, how you view philosophy, religion, your spirituality, your code of ethics and morals, your own personal belief system, legal matters, higher education, cultural interest, spiritual struggles, how you view God or divinity. And then here I have pulled the victim card. So we see this person and they're just kind of sitting there. They're pretty sad. Like, oh man, it just sucks, man. So I'll read the light attributes for you. Prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. The card number 2. The shadow attributes. Playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, the inability to maintain personal boundaries. So right now, the negative attributes are what are speaking to me. And again, when we are feeling hurt and we feel like ain't nobody paying attention to us, or that we don't have help, or that we're not getting help, or like maybe if we pray, our prayers aren't being answered, or we think God don't hear us, or that maybe we even start to think that God doesn't exist because, you know, things are going our way, but that's really not the truth. And so we tend to try and fill that void elsewhere. So I call it the pity party. You like, you know, because you made a poor choice and then you have to deal with the repercussions of it. You want other people to feel bad, or you want other people to be like, oh, it's okay, you don't gotta do that, I'll help you, even though you really don't need help. And it's just a matter of you not stepping into these positive attributes. You need to be more positive about these things. Think about a seed. Think about a tree. We look at trees now and we see these big, strong, sturdy, stable figures, but we neglect the fact that a tree started from a tiny seed, something smaller than us, and it was deep in the soil. It had to push through dirt, roots, twigs, all sorts of things, and that was only a tiny beginning of the journey, because then it had to grow from a plant, and then it had to develop from a plant into a tree. It went through snowstorms. It went through beating sun rays. It went through rainstorms, thunderstorms. It went through droughts, but it still persevered, and never once did it say, well, I'm not going to be a tree anymore, or I'm just going to give up and I'm not going to help protect the earth from carbon poison or anything like that. I'm not going to renew oxygen. No, it didn't do that, because it has a design. And it doesn't question its design. And as people, we tend to question our design because of life experiences, or just because we just don't like how certain things feel. Nobody likes to feel down. Nobody wants to feel like, you know, things aren't working out for them. But the silver lining is that every storm passes. So Right now, this is your current view of things, so you need to focus more on the positive rather than the negative attributes. You are not a victim. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You just need to stop making careless choices and invest your life, invest yourself in yourself, if that makes sense. You know, choose better. You don't have to choose ridiculous things in order to be happier, live the life you want. So let's move to card number 10. This is going to represent your purpose, your highest potential, your power, where you are in terms of that. What is your personality in terms of that? Your house of achievement, the way you put your potential into concrete action, and your role in the world, your connection here, you know, and the connection, this is, you know, with your boss, authority figure, then also how you handle issues of authority, rejection, humiliation, and approval, ambition, honor, social status, all of that, everything about you spiritually. This is more playing a spiritual role for you. And we have Angel. So in this card we see, sorry, I can't see in this light down here. So there's a woman. She appears to have angel wings and they're embracing her. And there's some stars in her hair. Stars always remind me of, you know, the cosmos, and also looking up, thinking positive, looking forward. So I'll read to you the positive attributes. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. And then the bottom says, acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, or falsely claiming to be in touch with your spirituality. So I feel like there's a bit of both in here. For people that you really care about, you do whatever you have to for them. You know, you give the world to them if you could, and you don't expect anything from them in return. But when it comes to just everyday life and the choices that you make, based off of the people that you encounter or the situations that you encounter, you kind of put on this charade. And this is not necessarily a negative thing. This goes back to the hermit, wanting to protect yourself and not let people know. And also the fool, you know, that mask, not wanting to people to see the real you, that sensitive side of you, because you don't want anybody to take advantage of you. But in doing so, you know, you act a certain way and you mislead people. And basically, I feel like the situation you are in now is just the return karma, something biting you in the ass that you previously did. And so you know, that acting innocent or those ulterior motives in order to get what you want, I would pay close attention to that behavior and start focusing on the positive parts. So if you are talking to somebody, don't just be talking to them because you feel like they can push you somewhere or get you somewhere and get you something that you want, and then you're just gonna throw them away after that, because you know that's not something good to do, and you don't want anybody to do that to you. So you know, treat people how you want to be treated. So we're gonna move on to card 11. So this is your relationship in the world. So this is basically your social life, how you relate in the social world with your friends, your family, the community, humanity as a whole, your attitude towards your achievements or failures, how you work in groups, and how you'll see the world. And I'm just giving these another shuffle. Yeah. So 2 cards came out for this. And they are, you know, one card popped out. So it's interesting that it's the slave and the servant. So let me put these down so I can hold these up clearly. So we'll look at the slave first. So this person, I don't know if you can see the image very well, but this person has strings attached to them like they're a puppet. Their facial expression is not very happy. It's very solemn. And what else is around them? You know, these look like marbles going all the way around. When I see marbles, I think of somebody slipping and busting their shit, basically. You know, I always see people slipping on marbles on TV or something. So that's the first thing that comes to mind is being all over the place right now. Because of the choices that you tend to make, especially the ones that have ulterior motives or that are negative, you end up falling on your ass, basically. You end up, you know, putting yourself through all this unnecessary. You play this role like a puppet, and then at the end, you know, you're just left with all these strings, and then you're fumbling all over the place. So let me read you the attributes of this card. Surrendering the light attributes first. Surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. And the bottom is giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. So the way I can elaborate on that, basically what I just said, when you make choices. So when you make choices based off of fear or negativity, you give your power to whatever person or circumstance or situation that is, and you allow that power to make your choices for you, basically. And being insecure, being afraid to be open, or being afraid to be responsible, or growing up, you make choices that tend to overextend your energy. You know, you have to go and do extra shit, and then you still left with nothing in the long run, because you spent so much time in the negative. You weren't building anything. You were just playing this role. You were just acting, so you didn't build anything real. Now let's go to the servant. Now, when I think of a servant, I think of two types of servant. There's a servant in this picture who is, you know, probably a servant of a house that cares for a household, or has is employed as to do household duties, cleaning, cooking, blah blah blah. But also, I think of a servant as a servant of humanity, like an angel or you. We're all servants of humanity, servants of the Creator, and we have a purpose here because we are designed for something. But in this picture, this person looks happy. You know, she doesn't look like she's I don't know if you can really see, this camera sucks. You know, she has a nice smile on. She don't look like she's unhappy to be doing this job. So I can say for you, again, when it comes to people that you really love and care about, and you know, we're still on card 11, so when you're in groups with your friends or family, you're very happy to do for them. You're happy to go out of your way for them. But when it comes to meeting just random people, or even people at work, or cultivating relationships in other groups outside of your family, you can be, I guess the word is pessimistic, not wanting to really involve yourself, and perhaps focusing on the negative aspects of the group, or your fears, rather projecting your fears onto the situation instead of giving it a chance. So let's read the light attributes. Delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. So we just said that. And the shadow attributes are using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward in life. So I can definitely relate to this card as well. Giving you an example, using money as a lack of money as an excuse not to move forward in life. Like, well, I don't have it, so you know, I can't do this or do that. That's pretty much blocking yourself, and that's the reason why you don't have money, because you have an attitude that is self-defeating. If you want more money, and you want it in a legit way, a way that doesn't involve harming someone or inconveniencing someone for a few quick bucks, then you have to change your attitude and your outlook about life and how you get along with other groups. Again, that hermit and the fool, that mask. You don't have to put on a mask everywhere you go, because then people don't get to know you, and you may think that you are being smooth or that you are not transparent, but there are a lot of people that can see through that, and those are the people that can offer you the opportunities that you're looking for. But because they recognize those qualities in you, they're like, well, he's not ready for that, and I'm not going to even waste my time entertaining it. And then you just end up with people that people or circumstances, situations that are undesirable to you. And I call it instant gratification. So it may give you some immediate luxury or immediate answer, or immediate gratification, instant gratification, but after that the thrill is gone. Then there's nothing left, and then you've run through whatever it is that you received in that short amount of time, and then you're back to where you started. So let's focus on the positive aspects of that. And finally, the 12th card. So this has to do with how you mesh into the world on this paper. So this is what I'm looking at right here. So just so you know, the collective unconscious, where the individual blends back into the collective. So the meeting of the I with the much more than I. So if this is not making sense, you can always ask questions or leave comments. But how you deal with letting go and merging, how you deal with unity or oneness, how do you consolidate your success? What do you do with your success? Do you cycle it into seeds of new growth, or do you focus more on the shortcomings or the failures of the situation? So how you surrender, your place of surrender and grace, your inner journey, how you move the world, and your mind, the evolution of your mind. The warrior. So looking at this image, there's a person here. They have a spear that's kind of shaped like a lightning bolt. So this means that they know when to strike. They're able to also. Okay, let me elaborate more on this picture. I see all these spirals, which to me spirals represent intuition, trusting in your intuition, and also the divine spiral of life. Everything in life grows in a spiral, from your DNA, the way your organs, the way your body grows as a fetus, from plants, anything that grows and is living starts off in a spiral of some kind. So that means life and divinity. So I'll read the light attributes for you. It says strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. And let's read the shadow attributes. The trading ethical principles for victory at any cost. Indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. So basically, kind of what I just said throughout this whole reading. Pretty much doing whatever you gotta do and not caring how you affect other people. This is the attribute that is sticking out to me the most. So when you do those things, or you wouldn't treat your family this way, and if you wouldn't treat your family this way, then you shouldn't treat other people this way. One, because it's wrong, that's just the bottom line. And also, it's not fair to you And it's not fair to the other person. It's not fair to you because you block the gifts that you could offer this person, but you also block the gifts that you could be receiving and the knowledge that you could be receiving. Warriors must train in order to get to the status that they are, to become skilled warrior. The word warrior itself, to me, I don't feel like you are able to be a warrior until you've passed the novice stage. You know, they always have in movies that person that's training, they train for years to get to this point. And so basically that's what you have to do. You have to train yourself because you've been trained or programmed to think or feel a certain way based off of your life experiences. And again, going back to poor decision making based off of fear, based off of instant gratification, and based off of ulterior motives in order to get what you wanted by any means necessary. So basically, I hope this was helpful for you. You wanted to know about yourself. So this reading is basically to describe your personality to you, your strong points and your weak points, the points that need more focus, the points that you need to be aware of, because they are causing you harm. You know, we might think that because we see other people suffering at our expense that we're not suffering too, but really you are, because you just hurt someone. And if that's what's in your heart to do, then it means that you're the one that's really hurting, because you wouldn't, why else would you want to hurt someone or misuse someone or mistreat someone? So this video is 41 minutes, bro. So with that being said, I'm going to end it here, and thanks for watching. Bye bye. Stay blessed.